Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to FRL. We are here for F1 2021, and this F1 of this season 13, round 11 of the championship, as we take in the Dutch Grand Prix from the Zandvoort circuit. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream, as always, on a Tuesday night, and back from his jolly hollies, it is Mr. Michael F1. Michael, how you doing?
I'm very good, James. It's good to be back for my little week break. And did commentating go well for you last week?
It really did. It was a bit of a bummer, to be honest, that not having a co-commentator. But as I said to you just before we start the stream, probably one of my most favourite commentaries I think I've done all season. Obviously, doing a solo commentary is a bit boring, and it gets a bit lonely in the commentary box as well. So thank goodness you are back, of course, coming into tonight. We've already had a comment, by the way, in the comment section saying, I thought you were playing GTA. No, my GTA disc. So yeah, I think he means Ball Boy with that. Ball Boy's in the F2 stream if you want to tune in for that.
Wrong chat.
Let me remind you, of course, what happened last week in Belgium. And there was a little bit of a post-race script as a result. Baraka got his 5-second penalty removed, took the race win. So Baraka leads the way on 148 points coming into tonight. Jensen in second on 128. He DNF'd. He didn't finish in the points either. He did get classified within the result. He didn't actually finish the race because he crashed out because of contact. 128 points though for him. Lou in third on 88, Zavo in fourth on 83, Rocco, who finished second last week, in fifth on 72, Hammerlinen in sixth on 60, Brock in seventh on 51, Yona in eighth on 49, Nathan, who drove a very good race as well, in ninth on 47, finished third last week, Azizel in 10th, completing the top 10 on 44, Black Box Bombastic, Mike T-Hawk, Burrell top 15, Henry Macho, Mika, Alien and Petter Vol top 20, Denzel, Wizards, Harmon, Surface and National Chettle top 25, Mentos Ablaze, Now Up, Dave, Dynastics, filling out the 30 drivers on currently score points. Boltzmann, Tom Robbo, Noah, Tees, Hiddy, Desi, Passassin, and Jurgen have not scored points so far this season. And Michael obviously coming in towards tonight. Baraka obviously got his 5-second penalty removed with a collision under Jensen, under that safety car. Got the race win, got the fastest lap of the race, got pole position, so he completed the first Grand Slam of the season. 20-point advantage coming into tonight. He's got to really lay it on the line if he is to try and outscore Jensen again.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much at the halfway stage of the season, finally. It seems like it's been a long time ago since we started at the beginning of the season. But yeah, like if you remember previously, before even Belgium, he was pretty much nowhere in the Hungary race, just lonely around 10th or 9th place. He was nowhere in that one. So I was disappointed I missed last week's race because it looked like he made a massive comeback, and with Jensen retiring, it just completely turned tables with him, literally. But with Netherlands round here, it's all down to qualifying round here, because as we all know, if anyone's done league racing round here, it's not easy to overtake.
Yeah, honestly, it's a bit like Monaco in a way, where Monaco, if you start on pole position, you're probably going to end up winning the race. And it's exactly the same, to be honest, around here. However, I have seen overtakes done here before. I have seen some good racing around here before as well in other leagues that I've commentated on this game. So hopefully that might come to the fore. We have got a few new drivers as well, which we'll gloss over. Of course, we've got a couple of name changes in there as well. Not Hammerlinen, unfortunately. He is still the same, I think, the Finn. Going into the Constructors' standings as well, quickly before we get going in towards qualifying. Alfa Romeo leading the way on 165 points. None of their team actually scored points last week, so they still lead the championship at a reduced margin of 7 points coming into tonight. AlphaTauri in second at 158, McLaren in third on 132, Mercedes in fourth on 122, Red Bull and Haas in fifth on 101, Alpine in seventh on 81, Aston Martin in eighth on 67, Williams in ninth on 55, and Ferrari in 10th on 35 points. We get swiftly, as soon as I say that and come to the end of that, we swiftly get in towards qualifying around, of course, the Zandvoort circuit, brand new, pretty much to the F1 calendar, due to return, of course, in 2020, didn't because of the COVID-19 pandemic. 4.3 kilometres and then 2.5 miles, 2 DRS zones, of course, one down the start-finish straight, one down in towards turn 11. Plenty of lack of opportunities for overtaking, but just because of that doesn't mean we're going to have a good race.
No, definitely not. It's just one of those tracks that you just can't predict of who's going to make it, because they're really very fast corners around here, especially what's that corner? I think it's turn 6, the long right-hander. you definitely need to get that spot on. If you don't, it's going to cost you like probably half a second, maybe even a second if you get that wrong.
Yeah.
So we've just seen someone left the session there.
Somebody has left the session. We are getting the first cars out on track. Macho is the first man out on track. Probably number one at the minute. He is not going to be number one, I think, at the end of qualifying. Not to be dishonest to him around his home track at all. I just don't think he's got the pace. But we have to look into some of our new drivers, of course. We've got Bono in as a reserve. We've got FER Martin in a reserve. FER team doing very well, by the way, in the PSGL event recently. Justas, who I know from LOE Division 1, he is popping in the Alpine on his debut. And I said to you before, Michael, that Justas could be the favourite to actually get pole position around here. And if it's anything to go by from his LOE form, he should be one of the ones to beat.
Yeah, well, your guess is as good as mine, because I hardly know the guy, to be honest, but you're the best commentator around, and you probably get your physics right. You'll probably be the new Eddie Jordan for your predictions. So, but yeah, hopefully he'll do you proud, and if he does get pole, this could be really interesting in the second half of the season.
Yeah, I've just seen the Discord, by the way. I think it was Dave that left the session, if I'm not mistaken. He pressed the spectate mode while he was on his phone. Don't look at your phone before starting qualifying. Yeah, he's in the spectate mode, so unfortunately not going to be partaking in tonight's race. Macho, however, down in towards turn 1 at Tarzan, now coming through turn 1, around his home track. He should know this like the back of his hand. Now through turn 2, then through the right hander of turn 3, and then toward the left hander, of course, of turn 4. And you've got to really try and get on the power, coming through the kinks now of 5 and then through 6. Yona off to the right hand side. They're just getting out of the way, taking the thin line now in towards turn 7 and then coming through towards the end of the first sector at turn 8, and it's a 31. Oh, actually, it's not the end of the first sector yet. I've jumped ahead, I think. The end of the first sector has already been. I think it has. The end of the first sector's already been. I've just totally missed that. Macho coming through turn number 10. Even the head commentator gets it sometimes wrong. Macho coming through turn 11. This is the end of the middle sector. 48.7 through the middle sector for Macho. Already got a spinner through the final corner through turn 14. I think that might have been Henry starting up on his lap. He's actually back into the pit lane. So it was Henry who spun through the final corner on his outlap. Macho now coming through the final corner now. The banking increased by 30%, of course, when they remade this track. And now Macho running towards the line. And it should be a 110 to start off, 110.2. But I think, honestly, pole position is going to be in and around the low 109s, I think.
Yeah, we have seen that done, especially in this little time trial that is posted in the Discord chat. But we see Jensen, I think he just did a little warm-up lap. And now he's going again on his medium set. Zero goes second on his mediums also with a 10.06, a 110.6. With Mika has gone in second with his soft tyres also with a 10.3 as the laps are coming in thick and fast already.
Dave, I think, has rejoined the session, if I'm not mistaken, so that's good to see. You can see him now on the left-hand side, means we're up to 17 drivers at the minute. Baraka, last week's race winner, of course, in Belgium, now on a lap. Macho currently out on top, Nico in second. Dave's lap time on the set of mediums is quite quick, a 110.6, a good lap time from him. The Spaniard coming through the end of the middle sector, however, 48.9. So he's about 2 times top Macho's middle sector, but if his first sector's anything to go by, he should be right up towards the end, towards the top end of the field. Macho currently out on top, nearly 5 minutes gone in qualifying. Nico in second, Zero in third. Where is Baraka going to go as National Cheto goes third? Baraka now to the line. 109.9, he goes top. And I didn't think that was a quick lap at all. Baraka putting me in my place. Quite literally, Macho now in second, Mika in third.
Yeah, I mean, bear in mind, this is literally the first laps they're putting in as the Alpine got an invalid lap, but he's coming in the pits anyway. But yeah, this is only the first laps getting in. The track's really cold, so they're just literally burning rubber so they can get grip in the tyres. And we'll probably get I see a 9.5, 9.3 probably at the end of the session. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think when the track weather really begins to weather in, we should see big improvements, and that's what we've just seen with Justas. On the second lap of set of softs, 110.1, so clearly going for a banker run, and then essentially going for his full-timed run. 110.1 he goes, about a tenth and a half off Baraka. There is a yellow flag coming through the middle, coming through turns 2 and 3. Don't worry about that. I think that was just Dave getting out of the way on his outlap. Henry down in towards turn 1. Let's see how he's going to do. He's back out of the pit lane on a set of medium compounded tyres, and this is what we haven't spoken about so far tonight. everyone deciding for a bit of a mixed strategy. Baraka, Justas, Macho currently top 4 on a set of softs along with Martin, Kaya, T-Hawk, Harman and Burrell. Everyone else, I think, on a set of mediums, as Burrell's just got up to third with a 110.2. So those guys in the set of mediums, how quickly do you think they're going to try and weather in? As Henry has a right moment coming through the right-hander of turn 7. How do you think they're going to get on, though? Jensen, National, Cheto, are they going to improve into the 109s with their sort of lap times?
I think that's a little long stretch. I don't think they will, because the amount of corners that are on this track. Bear in mind, it is a really short track, so it all depends being at the right track at the right possible moment with no traffic at all. Because if you will, and you get that little oversteer of dirty air, you're definitely not going to get that. As we see a Mercedes of Harman, what's his name? Harman, right. I literally got it spoiled, okay? You give me credit. But, yeah, he lost it coming out of before the second DRS zone, so questionable where he will be in the stand on the grid today.
Yeah, down in 13th, 1 and 19 flat. He can go a lot quicker than that lap time that he's set, but he's back into the pit lane. Hopefully he could be sent up on the left. Dave, another Dutchman, purple through the first sector actually. Not sure if that's indicative of everyone out on track or if that is just indicative of his first sector alone. And I think, to be honest, it's his first sector because he looks a little bit sketchy coming out through turn 8, in through turn 9, and then in towards the left-hander of turn 10. These 90-degree left-handers, of course, really setting the stage for what this track actually brings. Baraka on top, Justas in second, Burrell in third. Dave's middle sector, 49.6. It's not a good middle sector, if I've got to be honest. He's looking in around Kaya, T-Hawk sort of area with this lap time so far. But the Dutchman, if he can improve in this final sector, it's a very short final sector around here, of course, at Zandvoort. But Dave now coming through the final corner, takes the much deeper banking, coming out through the final corner on the run towards the line. And he goes actually behind T-Hawk, which is a little bit of a surprise, because I thought he was going to go right in between Kaya and T-Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, when you were on board with him, I've been on board with Zero at this lap with clean air, but somehow he's backed out, and he was only a 10th up on his medium time, but he's on the soft tyres at the minute, which I don't know if it's a good idea to do a second run on the softs, because it's one of those tracks like I said before, qualifying is really important around here because it's just very rare you will see overtake around here. It's just in the typical places you can overtake is turn 1, turn 3, and probably the last corner itself, as we see yellow flags in the middle sector and the first sector as well, but I think that's just people slowing down as we see a bunch of people on their flying laps, including Jensen.
Yeah, Zabel's a 10th up as well, coming through the middle sector. It was Dave who spun coming out of turn 9 even, through the right-hander. His car just went off to the right-hand side there. Zabel improving up through the first sector, really catches a bit of a drift, and he actually backs off this lap, clearly feeling he's not happy with this lap. The Finn backs off, he's now 5 tenths down. Nobody, I don't think, really improving on the lap so far. T-Hawk's about to prepare for a lap. Jensen, I think, is up. Jensen's
up by 3 tenths in the first sector.
That was Mika off. Mika was just off to the right-hand side of him. Jensen now through turn 9, on the run towards turn 11, 3.5 tenths up. So this is a good lap.
Yeah, not the fastest though, so it might be a little bit cautious this lap on the first set on the soft tyres. He'll probably go even faster on the second set, but it's on... he lost it!
How did he keep that out the wall? How on earth did he keep that out the wall? He hasn't got any damage, I don't think. The Dutch fans are applauding that, looking in their orange hoodies that they've got on. Matchup goes quickest with a number 9.8. How on earth Jensen has kept that out the wall? I do not know.
I was on board with that as well. That was scary even to watch. I mean, fair play for him for keeping out of the wall and actually keeping it going as well, because, you know, like with F1 games recently, even this one, if you just stand still for too long, you just be disqualified, and he really doesn't need that right now. As this, what's his name?
Justas.
That's the one. The guy. This is. Sorry, I'm slowly trying to get back into it, but yeah, this is a guy that you're on a. What?
Henry has retired coming through turn 8, and I'm trying to see who's on board with the lap. It's Macho coming through. Oh, and he's actually, I think he's lost it on the outside curb, possibly, and the car's just gone straight on in towards the gravel. So Henry not improving, and he's going to be starting at the back of the field because everyone else has had a lap time.
Yeah, that's not good, especially... Yeah, I'm looking at it. He must have went wide coming into the previous corner, which it can easily be done. But yeah, he really doesn't need that, especially if it's going to be a wet track like we had previous races from yesterday, because it can easily be a no stop as we have seen. But yeah, Henry doesn't really need that, especially he's been on good form recently.
He has been on good form, and Henry now down in 17th. Dave is the only one ahead of him, who obviously has had a lap time, but because of that, Henry down the back of the field, regardless of if there is going to be improvements or not. Baraka now on a lap, running up in towards turn 7. This is one of my favourite corners to get wrong on any F1 track, to be honest. Baraka through towards the end of the first sector there, and now coming through turn 8 and then in towards turn 9. But Justas out on top, Macho second, Baraka in third. How is the Spaniard looking on this lap? He looks good through the end of the first sector. Middle sector will give us a big indicator though, 109.9. It is very difficult to try and improve a lap time around here, though at the Dutch Grand Prix now Baraka is a 10th up, so actually he's finding a lot of time, and theoretically if he improves in this final sector, he's going to be on top ahead of Justas by about 1300 of a second at this stage, favouring in Baraka. Now catches the curb on the inside of turn 13, through the banking of 14, Justas out on top, Macho in second, but I think Baraka is going to beat the lot because Baraka now runs to the line. And it's a 108.9.8, and he only actually beats it by 0.02 of a second.
That's really close, especially when he had a little bit of a wiggle though coming out of that last corner as well, so he had to straighten the car up quite quickly. But yeah, fantastic lap from him, and pretty much doing what he did in Belgium, sticking on a pole where his rival is still in 9th place, which he's on a lap now.
Yeah, his rival down in 9th, Jensen, of course, now starting up on a lap, coming through turn 3, and then to the left-hander of turn 4. Baraka out on top, though. Justas in second, Macho in third. 5.5 minutes to go, just over that, as the yellow flags come through the final sector. I think that was for a slow McLaren coming to the end of the first sector, so I think that might have been Nathan on his lap. Jensen, however, coming through turn 8, or in towards turn 8 now. Again, through the first sector, not too bad. Baraka just off to the right-hand side there. Jensen doesn't look comfortable, if I've got to be honest with this lap. He is looking quick, but he's not looking that quick. 110.4 is his lap time so far. Will he be improving ahead of Baraka in terms of his middle sector? It's going to be tight in terms of the middle sector times. And yes, he is. 3.5 tenths improvement. He is up on Baraka's time through the middle sector. So if you can find a really good final sector, Jensen might be the one to take it on to pole position with 5 minutes to go in qualifying. Baraka out on top. Justas in second. Jensen somehow doesn't invalidate coming through turn 13. I thought that was a nigh on invalidations. Now Jensen runs toward the line and he actually backs off his lap time. So Jensen backs off, clearly feeling that he didn't think, unless he's got the stream up and realised I was on board with him. I thought that was an invalidation coming through turn 13. I think he got away with that because he backed off the throttle, but I think he's took the safer option, not to sell that time. He's still in 9th.
Yeah, I was on board with him as well. And don't worry, Jensen, I had double checked the settings before we even got going. It's definitely on strict, so I'm very confused, as you are probably right now. But yeah, fair play to you to avoid that lap, but it could be really costly when it comes to the race. But hopefully you'll get that lap in as soon as possible. As who is the next driver to actually put in a lap?
Nathan, I think, is one of the ones that's actually on a lap, if I'm not mistaken. I think Bonner was out there as well, if I'm not mistaken. He's coming to the end of the middle sector. But Nathan, I'm on board with. He's got Mika for company ahead of him. His teammate has been giving him a good tug. He's 5,000 down through the end of the first sector. And Nathan now through the end of the middle sector. My goodness, he is improving, and he's a 10th and a half up. And Nathan now looks favoured to take pole position. Could be a really good lap if he can really hook up these final 2 corners through 13 and then in towards 14. Currently it's Nathan possibly going out on top, but Baraka still out on top. Justas second, Macho in third through the final corner. Nathan now running toward the line, and he does go quickest with a 109.7 and puts the fight to Baraka and turns the tables actually on Justas in terms of qualifying from LOE around here. Nathan out on top, Baraka second, Justas in third. Look at how close the top 4 are, less than a 10th of a second.
Yeah, and also I've noticed everyone's in the pits now, and Macho's the only one on his out lap, so this could be his good chance to actually get some clean air. See, now the track's buried in nice and heated, he might find an extra 2 tenths and maybe be up there with those Baraka and Nathan. And as he starts his lap now.
Yeah, he could be, to be honest. He starts his lap now, but while I'm bored with this, he comes down in towards turn 1. I'll remove the timing tab actually off to the left-hand side so you can see a full glimpse of the track through turn 2 and then in towards turn 3 of this left-hander, really catching the banking. You can take what the drivers were doing in real life, take the outside of the banking to try and get the run. Not profiled like this on the F1 game. Match on through the end of the first sector, 400ths up, so he's right up there in the first sector. Macho now coming through turn 7, and then in toward the right-hander of turn 8. And this is where the first sector actually was in the last game, which is why I got confused a little earlier. Macho now coming through turn 9. He looks good on this lap. He looks really clean in terms of his lap time. Just a little bit shaky coming out into the exit of turn 10, but looking still good. And now Macho coming through the end of the middle sector. Nathan's a 48.5, 48.5 for Macho, and I think actually Macho was 400ths up on Nathan's middle sector. But of course, Nathan's final sector was the one that really gave him the key. He has got a little bit of traffic in front of Martin, is actually going to give him a bit of a tow as he invalidates coming out of turn 13. And Macho invalidates, he's going to back off on this lap. Does he come back into the pit lane? No, I think he's going to go probably another run right at the end of the session.
That's only if he's got enough fuel though, but yeah, that's going to be very costly. Just those little things from the new boy Martin, who just probably put him off a little bit with the dirt. Yeah, that could be really costly coming up to his last run for Macho. But now we see, well, the guy who was ahead of Macho is Martin in the Alpine, AlphaTauri. As I think he's improved in the first sector.
Zabel's ahead of him actually on a lap, so Zabel is coming through the end of the middle sector now, or towards the end of the middle sector, coming in towards turn 11. He was 2 tenths up through the end of the first sector, and he's 3 tenths up, nearly 4 tenths up, coming through the end of the middle sector. So Zabel's looking quite good in terms of improvement. Whether he can match it though with the likes of Macho and Yostas remains to be seen. Martin's middle sector wasn't too bad either. He's getting a bit of a tow from T-Hawk. Has he backed off?
No, he's still going. Martin's like 3.5 tenths up in the middle sector, and he's getting a little tow in the last sector as well, so he could find an extra 10 for 2.
Goes up to 9th in the end. Didn't really improve in that final sector though, compared to what Zabel did. Zabel went 5th.
Yeah, really surprising by that. I don't know if he had traffic in the middle part of the track, or maybe a dirty air from T-Hawk. But
Jensen, invalid on his lap. He backed off this one. He has got enough time. He's got 30 seconds to go. We have got the timing, I think, fixed in terms of the 1 minute glitch that we normally have. So Jensen through the final corner. He's only starting up on a lap now. We've got the likes of National Chekhov on a lap as well. National Chekhov, I don't think, is going to get another lap in because he is backed off on this lap as well. Don't think there's anybody really that's improving. I mean, Baraka's up down 200ths of a second through the middle, through the first sector.
Well, we have to see what Jensen can do. I mean, this is his second lap on these softs, so he's going to be even costly for him. But we'll see in this first sector, does he improve?
He might do. Baraka on the
2
board,
tenths.
however, 2 tenths improvement from Jensen.
Yeah, he's up by 2 tenths, and has he got traffic ahead of him? He's got his teammate of all people. Probably give you a tow in the middle part of this lap. I think he's on a lap as well.
Baraka invalidates coming out of turn 13, so he's not going to be improving. Yostas is down through the end of the first sector as well. Macho has backed off completely. Mika's gone for a sprint through turn 13 and doesn't keep it out the wall from wing damage on the exit of the final corner. Martin has retired as well. Jensen is still 2 tenths up coming through the end of the middle sector. Can Jensen put in a really good final sector? To be honest, I'd be happy with trying to take 11th position and then starting on alternative strategy, because the alternative strategy will work. But Jensen, I think, really wants this, and actually he's run out of fuel. I think he's run out of fuel, and Jensen runs out towards the final corner, doesn't get a lap time in. Yona goes second. Good lap from Yona. Yostas not an improvement. Macho's not improving either. Neither did Nathan. 109.7 for Nathan is his best. So that is the end of qualifying. It's Nathan in the end out on top. Yona second, Baraka in third. And literally what I said earlier on in the session, not many improvements found in the final laps.
Yeah, not really any improvements at all, which surprised me the most. I don't know. Apparently, on your first run, it is all that matters, according to this game. But we wouldn't know what Macho would have done, though, because he was on a very good lap until he invalidated.
I've just seen Nathan in the comments, and the Discord, by the way, a depressing pole position he has put in the Discord. I'd be happy with the pole position around here. You could be the one that actually takes the fight to the likes of Yona and Baraka. And I mean, Nathan's form, last 2 races, first and third, his last 2 races, drove really well in Belgium, and now he's nailed it with another pole position here. So he is really going places, and do you know what? I'm going to say it. He could be a lively contender, possibly for the championship victory. Nathan out on top, Yona in second, Baraka in third. Look at how close the top 5 are. Yostas in fourth, Macho in fifth, 800ths of a second. covering the top 5, just over 500ths of a second covering the top 4. Unbelievable. 0 and 6, Mika in 7th, Burrell and 8th, Harmon in 9th, Martin on his debut in 10th. Good qualifying from him, didn't improve on his final lap, however. Jensen starting in the plum position down in 11th, Nashel Cheto in 12th, Kaya in 13th, Bono in 14th, not the U2 frontman, T-Hawk in 15th, Dave in 16th, Henry didn't get a set time in, so he starts right at the back of the field, but Nathan out on top, Yona in 2nd, Baraka in 3rd. History repeats itself, but Nathan's got one over on Justas from LOE qualifying, and that is going to be key to his chances in the race.
Do you think Nathan's the new Kimi Raikkonen of being being quite depressed of being on pole? Around here, you really should be happy. It doesn't matter if you're half a second or a tenth or less than a tenth. Around this track, that could be very, very crucial.
Pole position is a pole position. I mean, I earned the pole position last night, even though I finished 8th in for reverse grid, and then I was on reverse grid pole in F2. And actually, I had a good fight with Nathan last night as well. I will let you into that secret. Really good fight with him down in towards Le Com in Belgium. That was, and I was leading for 8 of the 9 laps in the sprint race. So I was very happy with myself. But if anybody is thinking, James, you're bound to get on the track very soon, no. Sorry.
Do you think he's just depressed that you probably would have got pole tonight?
To be honest, I wouldn't have the pace. I think I'd be around like T-Hawk sort of area, right towards the back of the field in F1. And if that's anything to go by, obviously, I'm not going to be an F1 driver. I'll probably be like in F4, which Parrot is at the minute. And obviously, a bit of controversy surrounding all of that. But
away from F1, what do you think he's in F4 at the minute? Just curious-wise.
To be honest, he's been put down now, I think, because obviously they realise that he is a driver that has got a bit of talent. But then again, we're halfway through the season in FRL, and I don't think I've ever seen somebody, well, I have seen it before in FRL, but in F4, a driver getting moved down from what, I think it was in F2, down to F4, chopping and changing is not really my cup of tea, to be honest, and I don't think it really should matter if it's the first race of the season, mid-race, or the final race of the season. If he's got the pace in that division, he should stay in that division. Simple.
I totally agree. With new drivers, they probably take about 3 or 4 races just to get thrown where their tube races. But yeah, coming up to halfway through this season, you should know where every driver is run out. But that's the way it is. But we're not really talking about F2 or F4. We've got hopefully a nice little battle on our hands. And for once, on this week, it's actually a dry race.
It is a dry race. Nathan, of course, out on top, Yona in 2nd, Baraka in 3rd. Top 10, of course, qualifying on that set of soft compound tyres. Everyone else gone for a bit of a split strategy. National Cheto and Dave, both of the Williamses, going for a set of soft compound tyre. Maybe they know that there's rain coming later on in the race. Maybe they don't want to risk the tyres. But on a set of mediums, Jensen, interestingly, Kaya, Bono, T-Hawk and Henry, all on a set of medium compound tyres. Normally around this track it has been a simple one-stop. However, I have seen a two-stop done around here before, and sometimes it is the quicker strategy, but I think one-stop is probably the way to go.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see where it comes with it. I mean, the weather could have a major effect with these drivers. But yeah, we have to wait and see. But now we're coming up to the start of this race, and since you haven't really done this for probably a month or so, what's your top 3?
My top 3... I'm going to go purely off pace, I think, for this. Justas for the win. I think he's going to outdo Nathan, probably in the first couple of laps. Baraka for 2nd, Nathan for 3rd. There you go. You've heard the top 3 here first. We're about to get going now. 5 red lights are about to go out as everything just chirp and changes on the left-hand side. 5 red lights now going out. The revving engines are on here in the Dutch Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. Good stop by Justas. Good stop by Yona as well. And it's actually Nathan who gets the best out of everyone. And actually, a driver on the grass there, I think it was Harmon going around the outside. There's 3 wide in towards Thelma, but Nathan leads through Tarzan for the first time. Baraka in 2nd, Yona in 3rd. He's dropped down a position. Justas there in 4th, Macho in 5th. Side by side further down the field. Harmon got forced off there. There's a little bit of contact, I think, between them both. And then Burrell forced out wide there as well. Now Harmon, it's side by side. There's a little bit of contact, a little bit of scrimmaging. I think that was with Nacho Cheto and Jensen coming through turn 4. But Nathan leads the way. Baraka 2nd, Yona in 3rd. Justas in 4th, Macho in 5th. They're still side by side coming through turn 7. Oh, and there's a spin on the inside curve, and that is Kaya that's round. Kaya that has caught the inside curve. There's a bit of front wing damage flying there as well for one of the drivers, I think. Jensen managed to come through that relatively unscathed. Quite a hectic first lap, however. Mika tried to go around the outside of Harman, and he's still trying to dip the up and under, coming through turn 10, and now in towards turn 11. But Nathan leads the way, Baraka in second, Yona in third. A bit of a mad start, that.
Yeah, it really was. I was actually on board with some of the drivers at the back of the grid to see how they actually coped. They got round through the first corner all right, but this is when it came to the third corner, and obviously with that wonky straight, that's when it started going hectic. There was contact with the Alpha Tauri and between the Williams and Jensen as well. And speaking of Jensen, I think we're going to see a move from him into turn 1.
I think we might as well, yeah. Yep. Jensen on the inside line and towards turn 1. National Cheto on the outside line, coming through Tarzan, and Cheto hangs on. I think Jensen just backed off that. He's on the side of mediums, obviously pushing. If you saw the front wing damage, by the way, like I did in turn 7, it was Henry. His front wing completely gone. Henry back into the pit lane, Burrell into the pit lane as well. So both Aston Martins pretty much out of contention before this race has even ran its course. Mika on the back of Harman, 7th and 8th position currently. Nathan got away, however, but Baraka now beginning to bridge that gap in. And the Spaniard, if it's anything to go by, the Spaniard is going to be right on the back of Nathan, because it looks like he's got the pace.
Yeah, Yorno went off, I can't remember what corner, sorry, but Yorno went off, got a tyre on the grass, and now he's under pressure from Justa from the Alpine, and followed by Macho and Zeru and Mercedes as well. They're all pretty much together, this little group here, all in second of each other.
Yeah, to be honest, the front two look like they're pulling away as well. Yona, obviously, after making that mistake, Justas is only 5 tenths off him, and it's enough to try and get a big toe down the straight. And speaking of big toes, Mika on the inside line of Harman, running down the straight. He's on the inside line in towards Tarzan. On to lap 3 we go. And Mika down the inside line. The Dutchman down the inside of the Bulgarian. A little bit of contact between them both, actually. And actually, I've just realised it's not National Cheto at all. It's Harman and Mika that are fighting at. The two Dutchmen are going at it, coming through turn 3. And now Mika on the outside line. Normally favours are still side by side through the end of the first sector. Davis fun coming through turn 2, but Mika is through. Lovely move that, with Harman fighting. Mika back through, and he's into 7. Really good fighting that. As Justas' round coming through turn 7.
Oh, I missed that. I was on board with the battle you were actually watching, but he's probably clipped the curb because he wasn't really near anyone, was he? And he spun again.
Then he spun into the wave. Kaya as well, luckily, has got the car going again as Dave just gets out of the way as well. But Justas has spun down in 15th position, and there goes my prediction for P1. So never listen to me around here. Nathan leading the way, Baraka in second, Yona in third. And as a result of that, Justas now obviously spinning from 4th position. Macho has got a little bit of a gap now to try and bridge to Yona, and the front 3, because they're in a DRS train, are going to pull away as a result. And Macho's going to come under pressure from Zero as a result as well.
Yeah, I mean, Zero's not even using any overtake. He's saving that battery for maybe 2 or 3 laps to get that pounce into turn 1, which is probably crucial.
That's late! Bono down the inside line, and T-Hawk absolutely sent it down the inside line. And now T-Hawk is back down the inside line in towards turn 2. Bono somehow has stayed ahead of him. I do not know how the car is still ahead compared to T-Hawk. And Bono down in P10, up into P10, T-Hawk down in P11. I don't think T-Hawk would be too happy with that, to be honest. I think if we interview him later and we say, Bono's move on you, was it reckless or not? I think it was. I think Bono should give that place back.
I didn't actually see, but when I was on, went back to him, it did like the Red Bull was coming back towards on the exit, but we have to find out in the interviews. But we see Jensen slowly got the hang of his car now. He's behind.
Nathan's just made a mistake out in front. Nathan makes a mistake out in front, coming through turn 11, went too deep into the corner. Baraka is there, 4.5 tenths away, taking the thinner line, saves the ground on the inside of the banking, and now is going to try and deploy his ERS. I don't think he's going to use it. Further behind, though, Jensen, as you mentioned, on the back of National Cheto, and Cheto now under pressure. Harman now pressurising Mika as well. He sails through down towards turn 1, and Jensen makes contact on Cheto, going around the inside line. Cheto is off as well, and Jensen is off, and they both recover, and I think Jensen, probably more fault of that, backed off completely, wanted that Cheto in front of him, and that's what he's done. And I think Jensen realises he doesn't want to get into a little bit of carnage like he did last week underneath the safety car.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's on his mind really. I hope he hasn't lost too much focus with the little damage he had last week, and with qualifying happen where he is, he needs to just try and stay focused and wait until the pit stop window comes up, because the soft tyres will still have very much grip, more than the mediums at this point. but wait for probably 2, maybe 5 laps. Jensen will come back to him and probably come up to the front runners of these lot.
It might not even be 5 laps, to be honest. He could have a go down towards turn 11, right on the back of the Bulgarian. Jensen looks like he's got so much pace, but he's got to utilise that in the right areas around the track to try and get Cheto. And I think it's going to be down in towards turn 1 at Tarzan, where he is probably going to get that move done. Nathan leads across the line to start lap 6. Baraka in second, Yona in third, Macho in fourth. They're pulling away from Zero. Zero just took out of ERS there.
Here comes
Jensen now on the back of Cheto. Dave has retired out of the race, however. He's crashed into the safety car, and Jensen gets the move done in towards turn 1 before the safety car is deployed. So Jensen turns into 8th. Dave, however, has spun coming through turn 7. And it looked like, I thought he got the car back going again, but he didn't, and a safety car has been deployed as a result.
Well, that's how the Aston Martin cheerer, that they definitely needed a safety car, otherwise they wouldn't even catch up to the rest of the pack. But thankfully they did, as we see, oh, for God's sake.
Yes, that's...
no, the Aston Martin driver.
Burrell.
Yeah, Burrell. He's coming into pits again, get those hard tyres out of the way and put on a set of mediums, which I don't know if they will get to the end. Maybe they just rely on to another pit stop or maybe another safety car later on. But yeah, get that. Go on.
Yeah, to be honest, I think in terms of the strategy around here, obviously the safety car deployed out now. I've seen drivers go 30 laps on a set of mediums comfortably as well. And whether or not they risk it, because the puncture territory is so high around the track, they can make 30 laps on a set of medium compounded tyres. I think it was Verstappen, managed it in LOE Division 1 when I commentated there. Whether or not drivers decide to come into the pit lane remains to be seen, and there's your answer. Everyone is now in, obviously, probably to go on to a set of medium compounded tyres. But if some of these guys decide not to, there's a set of Inters coming out for somebody there, is there?
Oh, no.
Yona's on a set of Inters!
Oh, no.
Yona's on a set of Inters!
I
saw the green wall tyre coming when everyone was coming through. Saw the green wall tyre. Jonas on a set of Inters, and this is disastrous because Macho, Zabo, Harmon, everyone back on a set of hard compounded tyres, and everyone behind him is going to be held up. Yona was obviously put on the wrong tyres, or there's just a pure glitch in the game, which I think has happened before. Luckily, there is a safety car for him. Luckily, that's his saving grace.
Yeah, but is it damage done though? I'm not too sure, because was he third place on the road as well? He was in a really good position. He was holding on to the leaders as well, so...
He's still in net third, to be honest, actually. With Jensen and T-Hawk staying out there, he is still in net third, which is some sort of a miracle. But obviously, he's on that sort of intermediate compounded tyre, 5th position. He's going to be dropping down, maybe behind Cheto, just that sort of area, I think, underneath the safety car. He could even be down behind Burrell.
Yeah, I think he will be down by Burrell, because obviously Burrell's going flat out now, isn't he? Now he's crossed the starting line. So he's definitely going to be at the back of this pack when he makes his stop. But, yeah, unfortunate for him. Now he's got to climb through all this traffic of cars. Because bear in mind, like half the grid's on hard tyres now. That doesn't mean you're going to get past easy if they're going to be a DRS train. Yeah,
the hard's probably the tyre to be on. They're going to be so shocking the first 10 laps in this stint. But when they get into the groove, they really, really fly in terms of the set of hards. And it's on the set of mediums where drivers are going to struggle. Nathan, Macho, Zavo especially are going to struggle. Yona, by the looks, however, is coming back into the pit lane. And actually, I thought that was another driver coming in. Was that T-Hawk?
Yeah, that was T-Hawk.
Trying to come in the pit lane there.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that allowed to be done? Can you go in? I know you have to cut the line to go into the pit lane, but can you come back out?
I think so. I think he was just probably duking Jensen, to be honest, into try and making a stop. They're probably both within the same party, so probably T-Hawk, Jensen certainly know what T-Hawk was doing, but they're still in the safety car. Yona, by the way, has rejoined in 15th position, so as we said, behind Burrell, and obviously the safety car is probably going to be in this lap, because Henry's coming through turn 1 there at Tarzan. Yona, 15th position, on a set of hard compounded tyres. Damage is probably done, but on a set of mediums ahead, Yosas and Burrell, if he can keep up to those guys, he's got a good chance of actually featuring later on in this race, I think.
I mean, maybe, but now Jensen's in a really good position right now, because when the safety car comes in, because he's got T-Hawk probably as a barrier for Nathan and Baraka, so he can just push away, and if he gets those tyres in good temperature, probably for the next 10 or so laps, he might be ahead of Yorno when it comes to his pit stop alone.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Jensen and Seahawk are probably going to be the guys that have got a warmer set of medium compound tyres on, and this is why, obviously, safety car is going to be coming in this lap, as it just came up on the screen. Jensen is now the virtual Vermander. He's the virtual safety car. He can now dictate the pace however he likes. However, of course, he dictated he was the driver behind Baraka. Baraka dictated the pace last week in Belgium, got it completely wrong, and he got a 5-second penalty removed. So Jensen's got to keep that consistent pace. You know that's in his mind. He doesn't want to make any contact. He doesn't want to do anything silly, leading everyone in behind. And it looks very clean in terms of this restart. Nathan is trying to get a very good start coming out of the banking through the final corner as well. But Jensen, I think, outside of the banking, he's probably going to go around about now. Jensen floors it now, just before the DRS zone, and now catches Seahawk sleeping, and now Nathan is right on the back of Seahawk as well. Down in towards turn 1 at Tarzan. Onto that 9 we go. Jensen leads the way. Seahawk in second. Nathan going all the way around the outside of the German. And now it's 3 wide actually to get locked into wheels. And now Macho's getting involved in this as well. Nathan drops down to third. Maybe down into fourth because Macho down on the inside line tries to get the move done. Seahawk is literally like a rolling roadblock at this stage. And now Nathan is going to have to try up the hill and towards 6 and 7 to try and get the move done. But look at Macho on the inside line. There's going to be contact if they're not careful. The Dutchman now making it side by side. Nearly 3 wide up the hill. There was a little bit of contact further down. National Cheto, I think, it's fun. But Macho and Nathan are still side by side, coming out of 8, and Macho is through. Macho manages to get the inside line through, and he's into P3. What a restart for Macho! He's gained how many positions? And there's carnage in the background. Harmon and Zero. It's not over yet. Collision, and Harmon is out.
It's not over yet. Nathan's coming back at Macho. Macho went too deep into turn 10. He's going to make a move at T-Hawk. No, he's not. He's going to go around the outside.
Nathan, I thought was going to be boxed in, and he makes it. Brilliant move.
That's a brilliant move. And
Mika's fun.
Alright, it's another safety car as well.
Oh. Yeah, another safety car out on track, and I think that is because of the Harmon and Zabel collision, possibly. So, Harmon didn't see what happened. I was too busy focusing on the battle ahead. Jensen and Seahawk both decide to come into the pit lane now. This hinders their chances, I think, more than harms them. Jensen is on to a set of soft compound tyre. Very interesting. They're not going to get to the end, but he's definitely 2-stop now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a 2-stop. Because I think when your mind is in the set of the safety car, it's very rare you probably get 3 or 4 safety cars at a race. It's quite rare in FRL. So when the safety car comes out straight away after you basically restart, it's very rare it comes back again. So I think they'd rather just get a pit stop out of the way, but that could be really costly. They just got to hope it's going to be probably... I think they've got to hope for another safety car, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Harmon's left the session, so we thank Harmon obviously for attending. What I think happened there, and I'll try and dissect it from what I actually saw, I just saw a Mercedes sideways, basically, is what I saw. And Harmon, I think, must have spun on the inside curb coming through turn 8 for the car to happen to do that. Zabel was obviously behind them. Dorsing system failed. Contact. Zabel down in 8th position now. And he, I think, is rather fortunate because most of the fields came in behind him. Harmon, obviously the unfortunate one, he's out of the race, obviously playing no further part in this race. But I think Harmon probably made a mistake by himself or got a little bit of a tap from him behind. And Zabel was just wrong place, wrong time and caused all sorts of carnage in behind. So I think that's probably what happened there.
Yeah, I didn't actually see what happened, but I think it all started with the ultimate defences from T-Hawk, where it was like it's like shopping for Christmas. There's like a lot of queues behind T-Hawk. It's like there's no patience whatsoever. I mean, Barack Lilly lost it coming out of turn 1 as well. Thankfully, he managed to keep it in. It looked like he desynced though, from my point of view. But as we see, Jensen
speeds into the pits. Set a soft compound tyre off. Set of mediums on. And Jensen's race, all of a sudden, has gone from bad to even worse.
Maybe that's what he was trying to do then, but so...
Mandatory 2-stop. That's what he's done. Set of softs, onto a set of mediums, mandatory 2-stop. And Mika did the same thing, I think, as well.
Yeah, well, Mika's gone on the hard though, which...
It's a worn set as well.
Okay, so that it has still pretty much a medium tyre coming up to the end of the race, possibly. Harry's bringing up the rear, still on the set of mediums that he start. Did he start with them when he made his pit stop? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think Henry came back into the pit lane, and I don't think they've got tyres left from qualifying, fresh tyres, to use. And that's why I think Mika and Henry were on one set compound of tyres compared to everyone else ahead of them, T-Hawk down to Jensen, all on a fresh set of mediums.
Yeah, as we see the safety car in. But it was a great start from Macho, being very patient. Unfortunately, he went a bit too deep into turn 10 before the DRS zone, which Nathan got back at him in the next corner. But he's in a really good position for his home Grand Prix, which we haven't really seen him in this position for quite a while, I believe.
Yeah, he has. Martin, Kaya, Bono, Yona, all, by the way, Dutchman as well. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th currently for them. And they're doing quite well as well. Macho, however, going to try and get onto the back of Nathan. Running down in towards Tarzan. Nathan really needs a good start on the safety car. Otherwise, he's going to have Macho chomping at the bit. And Macho was quick underneath the first safety car restart, and he's going to get going very soon indeed. Nathan is waiting. He's waiting, not like Jensen, still waiting. He's going to cause all sorts of carnage if he's not careful, and now he says go. And Nathan absolutely floors off the restart. Great restart from Nathan. Burrell's caught up with that as well, and it's back underway, and there's 3 wide and behind. Down in towards turn 1, Nathan leads the way. Match up in second, Baraka in third. Yona and Bono side by side, the 2 white Red Bulls going side by side in towards turn 3, and now Yona on the inside line gets the job done on Bono. So there's a position gain for Yona. He's up into 6th. Cheto and Burrell side by side as well, and actually T-Hawk gets caught up in that as well. And now Burrell and Yostas run on the back, and it could be 3 wide through the kink of 6 and 7. And there's a little bit of forcing up there. Yostas' hand of rage going up, and now Yona dropping down positions, trying to get the move on Kaya. Still side by side though between Yostas and Burrell, and there's contact between them both. And Yostas in the wall, and he's out the race, and that could be a 3rd safety car. Burrell now down in 14 as a result, and that could be another safety car.
Yeah, I was on board with Jensen.
However.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not a safety car. That was a big hit in a fast corner. But yeah, I was on board with Jensen when that happened. The Alpine lost the back end coming out of that turn 6, and it pretty much ran into who is it? Was it the Aston Martin?
Burrell.
Yeah, so it was no fault of Burrell. The Alpine just lost his back end, to be honest, going side by side, which is just not. You just can't do that round here. It's really a thin track with these white cars. But the top 5. It seems like they're getting away.
Jonas spun out the final corner, so did cut in, and now Jensen is side by side actually with T-Hawk, which was what I was going to come on board with. T-Hawk around the outside, Jensen, around the outside line of T-Hawk. Gets the job done. Lovely move by Jensen. Throoney's into 9th. Burrell is retired in the pit lane. Yona is out of the session. Well, he's not out of the session. He's certainly pretty much out of this race now. Fresh set of front wing goes on. Fresh set of mediums go on as well. Yona really not happy, I think, with that little spin coming out through the banking. It is very difficult to get the banking wrong. When you do, it costs you, and Yona down now in 13th position. But Nathan, as we rightfully said, if he was to get a good restart, that's exactly what he's done. 1.3 seconds ahead of Macho, and Macho seemingly has got no response.
No, but he's got Baraka for company on the hard tyres though, but he's holding it well for him. But I don't know if Macho's being quite patient, because don't want to be too aggressive on these tyres, because you really want to make these to the end quite comfortably, presume. So, but the train behind with his Kia in the Alpine, yeah, he's having a bit of a train on his own though, which could be quite a problem for him. But Zero's more close to a bit the Red Bull driver.
Bono.
Yeah, and he might. Would he make a move down here? No, but he's saving his ERS very well and tyres. But there's a big DRS train as T-Hawk goes wide into turn 1.
Ooh. And Mika gets cut.
Yeah,
Mika gets caught sideways.
Yeah, I was on board with that as well, and Henry is just on the back of him, just watching.
Bono's made a mistake, somebody cut in. Zero now down the inside line through 6 and then up the hill in towards turn 7. Job done for Zero. He's into P6. Jonah has pretty much retired, I think, out of this race. He has now 5-second penalty speed in the pit lane. He is now retired in the race. So disappointed, I think. Honestly, I don't blame these guys, to be honest, but when there's points on the line, top 10 positions, of course, pay for points. Anything can still happen in this race. We're not even through halfway, and we pretty much had contact that could span a whole season. And now Henry down the inside line of Mika, further down the field, and Mika now getting a little bit of his taste of his own medicine as Henry's now through, and he's in for 11th. And after the frustration, obviously, of picking up that front wing damage, Henry now beginning to try and make a little bit of progress through the field. Cheto now on the back of Bono. Not sure if Bono has actually got a little bit of damage maybe with Zero, with that contact coming up through the kink of 6 and 7, and now Cheto is going to try and fully hone in on this as well as Zero side by side with Kaya down in towards turn 1, gets the job done. Cheto now the Bulgarian down the inside line of the Dutchman, tries to get the move done. Bono is still there, however, and we saw with Macho and Nathan earlier on how they would go side by side. It's not side by side, Cheto is doing his into 7.
Jensen around the outside of turn 3, he's going to compromise? No, he's not.
No.
But the medium tyres are really working well, the
What
hard
the hell?
tyres possibly
Ooh,
not
little
quite
bit of
though.
contact.
No, he thinks better of it. That's very wise since the last 2 laps haven't really gone well, especially in that corner, presumably. But yeah, the mediums are working well so far. It seems like the hards are not really up to temperature just yet, especially with all this battling going on. As you see, the Red Bull just snaking a little bit. It seems like he's not getting temperatures on these tyres, and now Jensen's got DRS on him. He's got overtake as well. He's going to get this move done into turn 11 probably.
No. If he missed that down the inside line, there would have been contact between them both. I think Jensen just played the smart card there, if I've got to be honest. He didn't want to go down the inside line. There would have been contact. He would have gave Bono side pod damage as well. But now, down into turn 1, this is best opportunity. And now we can really bring in the gap to Bono down the inside line in towards turn 1. Even with the ERS not in operation, Jensen is through down the inside line. He's into P8. Who said you couldn't overtake around Zandvoort?
I think that was me, but no, Bono, he didn't even use any overtake out down there, which is surprising because it looked like he had very good straight line speed, so he could have held on to Jensen. But I think he's probably just waiting to hope until he comes back at the end of the race, which is probably more likely. But Jensen is now on a charge, but remember he's got that 5-second penalty, which for speeding in the pit lane, you can't really get that off round here.
Yeah, definitely not. Nathan leading the way, by the way. Macho in second. They're beginning to pull away from Baraka. But I'm more interested in Nathan is now being caught by Macho. Obviously now within the DRS range, he only leaves the session. Macho, 6 tenths away from the back of Nathan. Before the DRS was actually enabled, he was less than a second away. So Macho has been gaining on Nathan without the need for DRS or ERS. And he's doing a solid job. He's now beginning to get those tyres online. And now he could think about, well, obviously not a move down in towards Simon, but later on in the race, he could think about, if he's quick enough, to try and get the move done on Nathan, possibly to win his home Grand Prix.
Yeah, probably his first race of this season as well, which I hope it will be over the moon by. But I think he's got the perfect gap to Nathan. He doesn't want to be too close so he can lose that front tyre and grip. As we see an Aston Martin spun.
Henry.
Yeah, he's lost it. I don't know if it was a light dive bomb. I'm not too sure, but he's left the
session. He's caused a VSC. Yeah, he's got no front wing on the car, so that's probably why the VSC's been deployed. But again, another driver leading the session. I know he's been very frustrated tonight, obviously with his performance. And again, I don't blame him, but he's 2 positions off the points. Anything can still happen in this race.
And the thing is, he retired on. Well, he didn't retire. He left the session on track, so his AI is still going to be out there. So that's going to be even more bad news for him. If he returns next week, he'll probably get a quality ban. That I'm not too sure. But yeah, only 11 drivers into this now, and we're only just over halfway distance already.
Yeah, halfway distance already, and I think this race is honestly becoming more like Japan in terms of the curbs around here. Really catching you out, and honestly, as now I think we're about to get racing once again. Nathan has now floored it down in towards turn 1 at Tarzan. Macho and behind. We're still sticking to the Delta time at this stage, and Nathan currently there. Jensen is in the pit lane, interestingly. I think it's for Sedasovs. He's got to get to the end on those tyres, I think. Sedasov compound tyre, 5-second penalty. You may as well get it removed within the pit lane. DRS now enabled. It has cost him a bit, obviously, with the VSC now ending in the safety car period. Jensen, obviously, is just on the exit of the pit lane now, so he's been cost, I would think, 6 seconds, 7 seconds as a result of that VSC.
I mean, maybe. I mean, what position was he in? Was he in P6?
P6, P7, around that sort of area, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was in a very good position as you see Henry's AI coming in, but put myself hard, so that's convenient. But yeah, but good start by the top 2, still keeping each other company. Still that 6 tenths gap, which is good. As Macho put in the fastest middle sector of the race so far. So,
Yeah.
so let's look at the battery power. They're both on the same amount of overtake available. Obviously using it on this straight. But yeah, Matchew's really doing a good job of keeping Nathan company. Or is Nathan... I think they're both in their own little world at the minute, not really pushing each other too much.
Yeah, Baraka is obviously losing time. Look at that. 3 seconds now, the gap pretty much down in towards turn 1. Zero trying to close in, and Martin doesn't get the move done down in towards turn 1, and Martin stays in P4. Glitch showing actually on his debut, and he's actually best of the debut runners so far. Kaya obviously down in 6th, Bonnell down in 8th position, Mika down in 9th. So obviously Martin doing a fantastic job in terms of him, but he's on a set of hard compound tyres, and coming up against Zero on a set of mediums, you're probably who I'm going to bet on to try and get this move done. And it's probably this man here, the Haas, on the back of the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri runs white coming through turn 7, and now through turn 8, and Zero right on the back of Martin. But the FVR man doing a solid job, and CPI Zero in behind will be hoping to try and get this move done. Maybe into turn 11 if he's close enough. However, I'm liking Martin's lines. Taking the outside line, coming out in the corner there, gains him the time on the exit, and Zero didn't manage to do that. Zero, out of the dirty air, didn't want to try and follow that line. I think if he's wanting to try and get the move done, he's got to follow his lines.
I'm not too sure. I think it's 50-50, because if you're taking the exact line that he's taking, like the front end is going to be getting away from you, as we see. Macho doing the fastest lap, only 4/10 the gap now. So is Macho actually pushing for?
Oh, Zero to the outside line on Martin, tries to get the move done on the outside line through Tarzan, coming through turn 1. They're still side by side, nearly get caught on each other, and Zero hasn't got the ability to go all the way around the outside. He might do here though, around the outside into the bank into turn 3. This would be an insane move, he can pull it off, and Zero and now Martin are still side by side, and Martin just about slams the door shut on the Haas, and that is defensive driving, possibly at its finest. Martin is still in P4, Zero in P5. I think, to be honest, Martin, car ahead, defensive driving, perfect.
I think that was right on the limit though. There was big wheel banging, probably contact Zero's front wing, but he should be okay. But that's gonna get onto Zero's skin now, and I think he's determined to get this position in the next lap, whatever the cost really, because he knows he's got the fastest car. He knows he's got cars behind him to give him company. So I think he's going to get it done in the turn 1.
Yeah, Kyron Chetter as well, 6th and 7th position, and now latch onto the back of this little queue of cars. Zero gets a little bit slidey coming out through the final 2 corners of 13, now through 14, and this should be job done. The inside line's there. Go for it, my son, says Zero, and now down the inside line, in towards turn number 1, gets the move done. He only have to wait a lap, but he's still through. Zero's through and he's into P4, Martin down into P5, and Kaya had a cheeky look there, but Cheto looks as if he's got the pace compared to all of these guys. He's on a set of medium compound tyres, on a fresh set of mediums as well. Obviously botches turn 3 slightly, but look at the run he gets on Kaya. Now up the hill and towards 6 and 7, obviously not going to be close enough. Nathan leads the way, Macho in 2nd. They're pulling an impressive gap to Baraka, by the way. But remember, Baraka, if he stays, I think, within 4 seconds, he's got a good chance of winning this race.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know when the crossover is from the mediums, when the hards gets better to mediums, but the Williams Joe is still over the back of the Alpine. He's probably got a good run here, actually, as the Alpine doesn't go defensive. Is he going to make the move downside? No, he thinks better of it. But, yeah, good little train here so far. And who knows, Martin might come back at 0 coming at the end of the race, as it's still in the 2nd.
Yeah, Cheto right on the back of Kaya. Kaya's looking under pressure now, and the Bulgarian has got to try and get the move done. He has had good transition, obviously, from the qualifying into the race in the past, and Cheto's just going to use that to his good effect. He's not using any ERS, however, down the straight, and quite frankly, why shouldn't you? Because he's on 71% of ERS, Kaya's on 30% of ERS. He's got 40% more in terms of the ERS to use up. I'm actually surprised he's not using up to try and get the move done sooner rather than later, because he's looking so much quicker at the banking there. He just cannot capitalise up the hill.
Yeah, he has to get that move done into turn 1. Yeah, he might. It's good to have more battery, but you're losing. Oh, you're just going to lose time, because remember, he might be on the mediums, but those mediums might go off at the end of the race, and that's just going to change the crossover point from the hards being the better tyre near the end. So he needs to get this move done, and plus needs to get past Martin also. So he's just making it harder for himself at the minute.
He is making it hard for himself at the minute. Nathan, 5 tenths ahead. Macho on the back of him. And now, all of a sudden, Macho looks like he might want this down in towards turn 1. Uses up that ERS. He's not going to be close enough still. Down in towards turn 1. We're doing a fantastic job still. Nathan leading the way. Macho in second. They're still pulling further away from Baraka. About 4 seconds now, the gap. Zero in fourth. Cheto again on the back of Kaya. Not really going to get the move done. I think the second safety car has really spread the field out. Jensen, by the way, has now begun to cut the back of T-Hall. Finally beginning to get into contention in this race. But on a set of soft compounded tyres, he's going to be really nullified. With T-Hawk obviously ahead of him, he's going to get the move done. But then he's got a 7.5 second gap to catch to Mika. And I don't think that's going to be done as Cheto on the inside line, down in towards 7. Oh, I thought he was going to go for it.
Yeah,
he
was. He's got no battery to defend either. Kia as well, as he naturally can probably see. He's gone sideways as well.
Oh, down the inside line. Job done. No contact either.
What a move. What good reaction from him as well, thinking that gap was not going to open. What a fantastic move. Now he's got the space he can just push for now and try and save some tyres and now attack the AlphaTauri driver of Martin, which we have seen is no slouch when it comes to defending.
Yeah, definitely not. Cheto now through and he's into 6th. I think Kai might be struggling maybe with the tyres. Oh, and he nearly struggled coming through the final corner. He spun the car coming through the final corner. Luckily kept the car going still. Kai there in 7th. Bono in 8th at this stage. And Bono doing a good job as well. He's just latching onto the back. Martin looks like he's beginning to struggle. Obviously got a little bit of free DRS there, I think, from Henry's AI car, who's now been lapped. Macho, however, 4 tenths for the lead of the race. Macho's now beginning to get on with this, and I think, honestly, Nathan, if I was in Macho's shoes, and if I was listening to the stream right now, I'd be putting Nathan under so much pressure, because he can collapse under mistakes.
I think he does, but you probably have to save energy, though, because they're both on similar battery uses as well, so if it can use less energy on that main straight, because I think DRS is quite powerful around here, it's pretty much like overtake, just using DRS alone. So if he just uses less of that, he's going to make Nathan very vulnerable coming up to the end of the race. But yeah, fantastic drive from these two, they up front.
Yeah, Nathan takes a thinner line, gains him the time coming off the banking once again, and still leading the way is Nathan. Cheto now on the back of Martin. Martin looks under pressure for the first time, I think, from the Bulgarian. And the Bulgarian now closing in all the time down in towards turn 1. Is he going to try and lunge this down in towards turn 1? No. Thinks second of it, and Cheto stays in P6.
Yeah, but he can't be patient. Remember that his tires might go off near the end of the race, and it's just bringing Kia back into the fight as well. So maybe that's what Martin's plan is. I think that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get the other two to come up so they can join the fight and keep him busy so he can actually pull away, probably chase Zero from the end of the race. But Zero's doing a good job also. But so is Baraka. They're pretty much in no man's land, the P3 and P4 at this stage. So the closest battle on track is literally these guys in front, with Martin holding up this little train here.
Yeah, Martin holding up the train. Cheto looks the inside line in towards turn 10. Doesn't get the move done, and then in towards the corners of turn 11 and 12, which is called Hanshurst Bok, by the way, if you're wanting a bit of corner names in terms of the Dutch. But this is why we're not saying these corner names, by the way, because I'm purposely going to mispronounce them, and then I'll have a whole Dutch contingent in the comment section saying, yeah, James, you really need to learn a bit of Dutch. Cheto on the back of Martin. This time, I think he's close enough. This time, he should try and waltz around the outside line, I think. He's got to get the inside line presented to him. Down the inside line. Again, doesn't go for the move. I think that was his best opportunity to, certainly in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, no overtake as well, which is just not good at all. Because, I mean, it's good to follow a car dead on because you're just getting DRS. As Zero, I think Zero made a little mistake because I'm pretty sure he had a big massive gap than he did. Is his tyres going off already?
Yes, that's by the way in the Discord I've just seen him put, how can the driving be so bad? Tapped at least 4 times before he's taken out of the race. Yeah, driving standards, of course. Things certainly around here at Zandvoort, I've got to say, a little bit disappointing tonight. Hopefully they will improve, of course, next week. And that's what we all want, of course. Clean driving standards and clean racing, like we mostly did, to be honest, last week in Belgium. Nathan leading the way, Macho in second. That 27 out of 36, 3/4 of the way through. And if anything was to go wrong at this stage in the race, we are now 75% race distance. So that means these guys, currently within the top 10, are guaranteed points at the very least. Cheto again, on the back of Martin. Is he close enough this time around? Martin actually gets DRS from Zero. See, we're right in saying Zero made a mistake. Martin now tracks away any sort of attention from the Bulgarian in behind. Bono now on the back of Kyra as well. 5-way battle for fourth now beginning.
Something's wrong with Zero. I was just on board with him. His steering wheel, I believe he's on the steering wheel, which he is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think something's wrong with steering connection.
Throttle input as well. Martin's been blocked as well, and Zero actually pulls off to the right-hand side. And now Cheto could try and capitalise on this as well. But Martin Thuni's into P4, Cheto in P5, and Zero, I think, his wheel might have disconnected or something. It's something setup related. We've got to probably be honest with that. Cheto now on the back of Martin, and unfortunately for Zero, P4 finish, ended up now down in P9. He's got obviously issues. Cheto is going to try and capitalise this on Dan and Martin in towards turn 11. Doesn't get the move done. Nathan stays in the lead. Macho second. But Zero, whatever's happened, Trim, obviously he's fallen down. It looks as if, look at the throttle input actually, going down the straight. It's full throttle, full on the brakes. So he's fine in terms of the throttle input. It's actually the steering wheel, I think, that's affected. There's now Cheto on the back of Martin. Down the inside line. Easy job. Down in towards someone. Gets the job done, and he's into P4.
Finally, he's used overtake on the pit straight, which he was missing for the past probably 7 laps, which I don't know if it will be costing. But now he's finally got that free air. He's finally got that track that he desperately needed. As Zero retires as well, it must have been the steering issue. I was on board with him as well, and I noticed there was something wrong. And as soon as he was driving again, I think he went back to his pad, and obviously the pad wasn't working for him. So unfortunate for him. He'd done such an amazing job to be where he is.
Yeah, these things happen though. In sim racing, obviously, setup failures, whatever has occurred, obviously, for Xavier, we are gutted for him. I've got to be honest, he was driving such a solid race. P4, he should be proud of his results, I think, nonetheless, and should be proud of his performance, because he was actually beginning to pull away before that happened to him as well. Macho, 4.5 tenths for the lead of the race now, on the back of Nathan, running down in towards turn 1, and this is now Macho's first opportunity to try and get a run down in towards turn 1 on him. Doesn't, though, get the move done on Nathan, and Nathan leads the way. Macho in second, but you feel with Macho now, time is of the essence, and he really needs to get a move on for the lead.
Yeah, with just a handful of laps to go, he's used all of his overtake just to try and get that move done, but unfortunately it did not work.
Zabel's pad disconnected, so he's actually on the pad, and his pad disconnected.
So guessing
that's what's happened.
I'm guessing he was on the steering wheel, or was he always on the pad?
I think he was on pad, yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I noticed when I was on board with him, he was twitching in that first sector. It's just, I know the feeling, Zero. I know when a pad doesn't work for you, especially last season. So I completely understand, but I know you're just definitely disappointed with that. But unfortunate for you, you did an amazing job. But yeah, back to the lead though. We've come up to 6 laps to go. Macho, despite he's got less overtake now. He's still keeping Nathan for company. He needs to just literally save his energy at this point if he wants to carry and put the pressure on with the last lap, because he could have easily bottled it, and we have seen him done it earlier on in the season. Yeah,
it's between, honestly, these two now for the race win. Lap 30 out of 36, 6 laps to go, well, 7 laps to go actually. Nathan leads the way, Macho in second. They're 6 seconds ahead of Baraka. Baraka has just not got into this at all, and the Spaniard, obviously, he's driving in a bit of no man's land at this stage, and unfortunately for him, I think he's being found out because he's got a DRS train behind him, a DRS train in front of him, and he's stuck in the middle of you.
I mean, yeah, it could be possible, or it's just, or maybe the hard
top. Come on! You didn't get that!
What?
There was a pun in there somewhere.
You might, what kind of punning was that?
It's just from the song.
You might
something to the left and something to the right, stuck in the middle of you. That's all.
You might have to sing it for me properly.
Definitely not on this stream. Goodness me.
But anyway, back to the race itself. Macho is still with Nathan. Again, he's not really saving ERS, and that's going to be critical coming to the end of this race, because, like, this is your home Grand Prix. And that's the race lead ahead. You need to save up all your energy to get this lap. He's trying to right now, but I think it's a moment too late for him.
Yeah, stuck in the middle of you, by the way, from the Steelers wheel. That song. Clowns to the left of me, Jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle of you. Didn't get that. Terrible.
I'm terrible. What song was that invented from? What
I've
year?
heard, I don't know, it's from a film, I think.
What year?
Only English people will know this, by the way. I'm sorry, Dutchies.
All right. What year was that from?
Oh, God, I don't know. I
Right,
really
because
don't know.
I
We're
might-
currently in...
I might be old, all right, but I don't think I'm that old. And if you listen to that song, then you're a bit of a weirdo, to be honest, mate. But,
1972.
oh God, I thought stick to commentating from now on. I don't want to know what you get
Macho.
up to in your spare time. But yeah, Macho, still keeping company, but not saving any era. So, and to be honest, with a handful of laps to go, I think Nathan probably has got this in the bag.
He has, to be honest. He's controlling this race, but he's still got a big threat in behind. And Nathan's tyres, I just think, are beginning to let go. Possibly enough for Macho to now try and draw in, down and towards Sermon. Look at the closing speed as well. Macho just hasn't got any closing speed. Underneath them, Nathan's doing a solid job. He's controlling this race, but one mistake can really turn this race now in Macho's favour.
I mean, to be saying that, when I was talking about Nathan, Macho's ERS, Nathan's been using his now, so he's going to be desynching on the straight. So it's just going to hand the momentum back to Macho, though. But still, Macho's desyncing more than Nathan. But watch out for this battle behind, though. It's still not over for fifth place. Martin's still holding on for for fifth place with the two cars behind him, just giving each other company. But Jensen, I think this is one of the races he just wants to forget, really.
It is. I mean, that pit stop, obviously, on Dresetta Softs, he was probably thinking, late safety car, I'm guaranteed to probably do something on the Cetasoft compounder tyre, and he was probably thinking, yeah, I'm going to end up net leading this race. In the end, it really hasn't worked out for him because we've had no safety cars since, the middle of the race, and Jensen has just been found out because Mika's obviously 3 seconds in front of him, Jensen's 6.5 seconds behind him. It was 7.5 seconds, so he's only really gained a second in 5, 6, 7 laps, maybe? Jensen just hasn't really featured at all.
No, I think that showed in qualifying as well. I don't think he's just hasn't got the right setup for here, which it's just not going to be good news for him because I think this.
And actually, I've just clicked on in terms of the championship as well. Baraka obviously 20 points behind him.
Yeah.
Going into is he 20 points behind Jensen? Hang on, I'm going to check the standings quickly.
Baraka is ahead by 20 points, so
he's actually no. So Baraka is going to be 33 points ahead.
Yeah,
if he stays third.
Yeah, he's going to have a race advantage, literally a two-race advantage in literally the space of 2 laps. 2 laps, in 2 weeks. So, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Jensen in this race. Unfortunate for him, it just hasn't gone his way. But we've still got the second half of the season to come back, and hopefully he likes to chase more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, Imola, Monza, Imola, Portimao, Monza, Imola coming up. My favourite 3 races on the F1 calendar. Oh my god, I'm going to be excited for that one. Kaya on the back of Martin. P5, this battle not over and done with just yet. Now Kaya right on the back of Martin. Martin now under pressure.
Nathan,
and now Kaya, the VER man against the FVR man to the outside line. In towards turn 1. The AlphaTauri is still there on the inside line. The Alpine though, trying to go all the way around the outside. They're leaning on each other slightly. Kaya on the outside line might be the one favoured, but it's actually Martin who's in front. And Nathan has spun from the lead of the race. Got me through turn 7. We were so focused on the battle, I didn't even see it, but Nathan has spun through from the lead of the race. Macho now has got to focus on 6.8 seconds the gap to Baraka. He has got to focus madly now. He doesn't want to make the same mistake as Nathan, and with 3 laps to go, Macho leads his home race in Zandvoort.
And we see the other
and
McLaren going off.
As well. Cheto was fun as well.
I think
and now Kaya, Bono and Cheto are back. Martin, Kaya and Bono are positions as well. What on earth's going on?
I don't know. We're looking at 2 different places at once. I think Mika and Nacho came together. I don't know if they were on the same part of the track, but I think they came together on the fast right-hander, and the same place where Nathan lost it as well. But I think he got distracted by Henry's ghost car. I think because he was the ghost car was with him, so I don't know if he got distracted by that. which I feel sorry for Nathan, but
I'm sorry to cut in, because here's Kaya on the outside out of Martin in towards turn 1. Is he going to try and switch it back under? No. Beautiful car position there. Martin stays in P4.
Well, yeah, Martin's in a good position right now, but if you look at his DRS compared to Kia, he's got nothing, and it's coming up to the last lap of the race as well. So we could see maybe a dive bomb. I don't want to speak too soon.
Don't.
But Martin's doing a fantastic job to hold this position, but I guarantee you, I think there's going to be a bit more drama as he is. Yeah, he is pushing it so hard. I don't think he cares about tyre wear at the minute. I think he really wants to get this move done as soon as possible. Probably will be into turn 1.
Has Nathan got enough to try and repass Baraka? It's only a second the gap. It's still reachable, but he has only got 8% ERS. So Nathan, I think, still in P3. Oh, Baraka's got 46%. I think it's going to be game over for Nathan. He's outside of DRS as well, coming across the line. Or is he actually? Yes, he is. Nathan doesn't get the DRS. Onto the final lap we go. Macho leads the way in his home race. Baraka in second. Nathan in third. Kaya on the back of Martin. This is certainly not done with. Down in towards turn 1. Look at the closing speed of the Alpine. Now going to draw alongside him towards turn 1. Bono's going to be here, trying to pick up all the pieces. They make contact as well. But Martin and Kaya make sure that they stay clean through turn 1 and they remain in the same positions. Bono, though, probably just waiting in behind, waiting for a mistake from both of them.
I think that's what he's doing, but I think that could be a little too late for him now. There's only one proper place you can actually make an overtake. Nathan.
Is that Nathan? Nathan spun again! Nathan has spun again! He's reset the track, has he? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did. I did see them on the mini-map. He was at one place and then he just respawned onto another part of the track, so I believe he did respawn. Which has he's just gone from bad to worse, and it's probably going to give him a 10-second penalty because of that. And
that's
going to give
the final corner.
Yeah, that's
going to the final corner. Macho to the line is going to win the Dutch Grand Prix.
Well done, Macho, but it's not over yet. If we look down to 4th place, it could be a little. Would it be a little move in the last corner?
Since the fastest lap.
I think Martin's going to hold on.
Kai is on the back of Martin. Coming across the line. I think Martin, yeah, you're right. He's going to hold on. P4 on his debut. Good stuff. Kaya 5th. Bono in 6th. Really good debuts. Oh, and there's a lot of carnage coming across the line. Cheto in 7th. Teal'c, I think, spun, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he's got no front wing, actually. Jensen across the line to finish in 8th. Mika across the line to finish in 9th. Teal'c, obviously, we're going to be waiting on him. He is going to finish in the points as long as he gets home. Henry's AI car has already came across the line. And obviously, with him being an AI, I don't think he even picks up any points anyways. But Macho has won the Dutch Grand Prix home race, and he does it, albeit with a big stroke of luck with Nathan spinning in front of him.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with the ghost of Henry's car, because he was involved in that. But unfortunately, we just didn't see what actually happened. I would love to have seen that. But it was really quiet in the middle part of the race until the last 4 or 5 laps. But fantastic for Macho though. He deserved every bit of that victory, as Nathan did as well. But
Teal'c through the final corner. He's going to come across the line. He's going to back off towards the line. Is he going to do complimentary donuts? No. He gets a move on and he finishes in P10. Oh, what a dramatic ending to what has been what a dramatic race that was. And now the Dutch Grand Prix is ended. Driver of the day, what about the in-game fans? Bono.
It's been a quiet one for Bono. I'm not too sure about that. I mean, who would be your driver of the day? I know who mine would be.
Well, put it this way, for Bono, it was a beautiful day and he had a lot of elevation out on track. If you didn't get that one, then you deserve to look it up on Google. For me, driver of the day, as much as me pains to say, I think Nathan. I honestly think Nathan deserves driver of the day. Obviously, that spin and the ghost-induced car obviously spun him out. But until then, he dominated the race. And he was going to win it if that ghost AI car didn't get involved. And Nathan drove such a solid race, I think he's my driver of the day.
That's fair play. I can understand that throughout, especially starting from pole. Not really controlling the race, but he had it very firm in his grab. His very firm grip on the race win, so I can understand that. But I would give it to Macho personally, because the season that he had, it's been mostly down from him, but he really delivered where it matters. His home Grand Prix, and he just pretty much shone an upper expectations, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think he's my driver of the day of this race, and well deserved.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Nathan getting very annoyed, I think, at Henry's AI car. And we literally said he left on track, and because he went, why didn't he retire the car in the pit lane? Is my first question.
Well,
And obviously, that has cost Nathan the race win. That has
but,
cost Nathan the race win, and there's no doubt in my mind the stewards are going to have a look into that, certainly.
well, that's why we have these rules. Like at any league race, this is why we have these rules. So there's not uh, any advantage gained to anyone else, basically, because that little stuff can really put you off, and it obviously put Nathan off today, which is just not what he deserved at all.
I did. I almost.
Yep, see you there.
Your home race, did you ever think you were